Hi everyone, Mrs MLG here. Now some of you already know that I've been painting a miniature a day, so I thought this was a good idea. 2021, let's start painting a miniature. And this is how I've got on so far. On days 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 and 24, I painted Orcs from Games Workshop. Again, my first try at painting Orcs, but this was because we rotate the window displays in the shop, and the next window display that we're planning on making is Orcs versus Tyranids. So we need some Orcs for the Orc side, and we also need some Tyranids for the other side. Now we decided to do our Orcs yellow, so this was also a bit of a challenge for me, but I think they turned out okay. But then we had to do some Tyranids. So on days 17, 20, 21, 22 and 23, I painted some Tyranids. Now these were second hand, already glued together and had some paint on, but it doesn't really matter. We carried on anyway. This was also a perfect opportunity for me to try out the airbrush, which again, never tried before. And this was under strict supervision from Mr MLG, because it's his airbrush. And you can see that video on our YouTube channel, which I'll put a link below. So we used Green Stuff World Gloss Black on the Tyranids, and then we used Green Stuff World Psychotic Illusions to give a nice shine, which we're hoping when they're in the window will reflect the light and make it a really interesting thing to look at from people outside. Mr MLG has an Illigu resin printer, so on days 8, 14, 16 and 18 I painted miniatures that Mr MLG had printed for me. Now some of you may recognise the Sorcerer from Hero Quest. Mr MLG loves that game and he printed out all the little characters, and I stole this one and painted it. You can also see here that there is a purple worm. Now we'll be getting those in stock soon in the shop and online, www.mightylancergames.co.uk, so you'll be able to buy your own and paint it however you want. There's also a Cyclops going round, and that is a Christmas bauble. Now this was part of a Christmas promotion from Titan Forge. There is also a goblin and a dragon, but I haven't painted those ones yet. The hope was to have lots of these baubles in time for Christmas and have them all painted up and put on the tree, but lots of different things happened and we never actually got them printed until after Christmas. So maybe this year they'll be on our tree. Reaper Miniatures also have a Discord channel, which I recommend that you go and check out as well. And they've currently got what they call a Reaper Challenge League, and they set tasks for each month and each quarter, and you have to paint Reaper miniatures in the theme. So I used this as well to help me pick what miniatures I was going to paint for my mini of the day, because being a brand new painter, I don't have a pile of shame. I'm starting to get one now, but I didn't at the beginning. So we used the Reaper Challenge League to help me decide what miniatures I was going to paint. So this fun guy was for what they call the limited palette, where you only get to use 3 Reaper paints to paint the miniature. Now, I think it's quite cute and it was quite small, so I thought that would be quite easy to get into, and also a limited palette for a new painter is a little bit tricky anyway. Now the Devil, she was for their theme of fire, and Malcolm the Templar, he was for their theme of player character. Now I've also done Krampus, which was for their theme of new release, because it was one that they brought out as like a special thing at Christmas. Now I have done a video on the Krampus showing you step-by-steps of how I painted it for a beginner like me, what techniques you need to use. I've also done videos for the fungi and the devil, but they are time-lapsed and just show me painting and how I did it. So you can go and check those out, and we'll put some links below, obviously. So then I thought it might be fun to do the wizard, and with his orb there's what they call object source lighting, which I've never tried before. So I tried that on him. It worked out okay, but I do need to practice that a lot better. And then the Yeti was the first time that I'd tried white fur. So lots of firsts, obviously, and these are some of the Reaper miniatures that I've painted. So on day 25, I had a crazy idea that I was going to paint Marthrangel the dragon. And I really like the sculpt and I really like the pose. It's like different to some of the other dragons that I've seen. He's got his paw up and he looks like he's creeping along, and he kind of reminded me a bit of our dog. So I thought it was really cool. But I really underestimated the size, and to get this dragon painted in a day was quite a challenge. Now I did paint it in a day, but it took me all day to paint it. And I tried to do some wet blending on the wings, and I tried to do him like a nice red colour. So yeah, he turned out okay. So this was my dragon that I painted in a day. Also, as part of the Reaper Challenge League, there's lots of challenges that you can do with other people. So as part of the Goblin Army, I painted a Great Worm as a trio, so with 2 other people. Now they kind of did theirs sensibly, and I went a little bit silly and painted it as Sandworm from Beetlejuice. Now we did this in the painting club so that we could all chat to each other and talk to each other while we were painting. So that was quite fun as well, because again, that's the first time I've ever done anything like that. And I painted the little goblin as part of a duo so that we could submit it into that category. Now the sea lion and the creature from Blood Reef were pop-up events that Reaper did, still as part of the Reaper Challenge League, but a monthly pop-up event that you could do as well as part of the league. But this is like, surprise, you can do this one too. Now these are slightly older Reaper sculpts, and they were okay, but they're a bit floppy, shall we say, and it was more of a challenge as a new painter to paint these ones. But they came out okay, and what's the point unless you challenge yourself, right? So then what else did we do? We did the Orc. The Orc was just to help somebody else out in the Reaper Challenge League because they needed a trio and they only had 2, so I painted the Orc as well so that they could enter as a trio. So that was quite cool because again, that's part of the Goblin Army, we all help each other out, that's no problem with that. And then the last one that I did today on the 31st of January was Flying Rocky, and I think this is the first Rocky that I've painted or attempted to. Little Miss has painted 2 Rockies so far, and again she's done the videos for them to try and help other kids and encourage more younger painters, so I'll put the links to that below as well. So that concludes the miniatures that I have painted so far in January. Now the idea is to paint a miniature a day all year, so 365 miniatures. Now I'll try, but obviously there's lots of things that go on in life, but so far I didn't even think I'd get this many done, so far I think I'm doing quite well. So this is the journey so far. I hope that you like the miniatures. Don't forget to come to mightylancergames.co.uk, and where you can buy nearly all of these and all the paint and accessories that you need to paint your miniatures. And also, if you want to start out like I do, we can always offer you some advice, and we've got lots of great start to paint kits from various manufacturers, and you should really just come and check us out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. Thank you very much.